Hello everyone, I'm just picking up on some interesting reactions to yesterday's video about Jaws and John Williams. And the curious thing, whenever you do a video about film music, is that it provokes sort of equal and opposite reactions, either from people who are especially into the classical repertoire and find it a bit irksome that I'm talking about film music as if it was of the same kind of status. And also, of course, I then get an equal and opposite reaction from film buffs or people who love film scores or are fans of John Williams who think that I'm being elitist and snobbish. And in fact, although obviously I have my position, which is that I think that the great orchestral repertoire of the 19th and 20th century that is a sort of treasure trove that gets raided by movie composers, I do hold that view, and I do think that that repertoire ultimately is particularly special. But I'm not, because I am a big fan of movies and a big fan of movie composers, I'm not really as snobbish as people think. I hugely admire John Williams. I think he's one of the great craftsmen, one of the great musical craftsmen of the 20th and 21st centuries, and his scores are prodigious. He's a film composing genius. I fully understand that the repertoire that he falls back on, he has to fall back on, because the music of the 19th and 20th century provides him with all the tropes and the expressive devices necessary for writing a really effective narrative score. If you're going to write a score that's going to tackle, Indiana Jones mystery or Star Wars heroism or whatever it is, the multiple things that John Williams has to score, you instinctively fall back on the repertoire. And the thing about John Williams, and it's often said about him, and I didn't mean to replicate this thing, is that he's just a thief. Well, there's much more to John Williams than that. He's a really brilliant film composer, no question. The stealing that I was talking about in my last video, I was really just saying all composers steal to some degree. All composers steal. There is no such thing as originality. Stravinsky, one of the most original composers of history, was a huge thief. He was always stealing everything and admitted it. And so theft is part of composing. You have to use. You can't be creative without using material that you've picked up from somewhere else. I mean, you can't do it. If you think about it, you cannot just have a tabula rasa. You cannot compose from nowhere. You're constantly picking up on the music that's there in the environment.